yeah? And when you put them in the sound system, you can also control that ma, ha, ra, di, and a is the Maharaja. And the Radia has no ma, because every ringland is one ma, every province is one ma, in original is one. So now ma, ha, Radia, he ha the ma. With the Radia he has no ma, he is the Raja. And the Rajas men get the car woman pregnant, and in that come car boys, car girls, and the car men was making the Gati woman pregnant. And in that way come Gati men and Gati women. And Gati had no right to make children in the system, so all Gati was children from the car men, and the car people was children from the Raja. And the Raja come from the Maharaja, who was one son of Narkasur. In a way, Parvati put in the form of Rama Sita, what make the Hindi mythology to be like the king and the queen. And the king and the queen is reproducing themselves actually in the king system. Because also one other king system with Sven and Dan, the Svenskarar and Danskarar here up in the north, where also the king gets one beautiful lady who becomes the queen, and she has children. The first become crown prince, and the second, third, fourth can be duke or hertig of Northumberland or some England, where again come the same, like we can see reminded in England. Today I wanted to come to end this tropical and arctical, that if we go into the history of the planet, we have one strange thing, that from one paradise time where we live in one beautiful, nice climate, where we have no clothes. So our attraction is on the body. From there we get one freezing period in our mythology called Atlantis, and there we are living on islands and living with new creation of these four seeds who give us the bread, the beer, the alcohol, and the domestic animals. We are coming out 9,014 years ago, actually back in Udenma, where people live today, with such a strange history, what I actually representing from one of the islands. What I wanted to say, that we all been the same, and we all been tropical from beginning, and some wooden thing has been happening for us in the north, that we was living in one hue of ice, and suffering so heavy, and still my childness, I had to every morning get up, and it has been coming a lot of snow, and I had to take all the snow away to the toilet to go and knock on my mother's and sister's door. Here I thank for me was the story of today. The country language was spoken before the ice time all over this boat. So these first people on the planet who appear here, they speak a root language, which is a language that consists of 29 sounds, and every sound has their one meaning. So they have the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, blah, blah, blah. And every of these sounds has one meaning. And from that they have constructed for these people who live in the ringlands outside of Udenman, outside of the ringlands at the North Pole, all these people who go out to populate the rest of these poles, they speak one language. And the one language today is the Finnish language. So inside the Finnish language, which consists of this A, B, C, D, E, F, G, where every sound has one meaning, inside the language is the description of the life of the people on the pole when this whole pole was tropical and we had nice climate, and we was one tropical race of people with one language, with one Allfather and one Earth Mother, who in one creation and information system have one organization of life on the planet, which is nice and tropical, and a good feeling. You could be completely naked, so all the people opposite you was like a mirror to reflect also, without that we have to have all the screens up that have become in the time and make us also to be one completely different product as what we originally were when we lived in the nature all together in a completely different organization. So we started like an utopia, and the time made that the changes that occurred in a way separated it all. Okay, to see that we become more and more group. From one, we become 10 tropical and 3 articles, so that made already 13 different races, with 13 different language, with 13 different cricket, with 13 different outlook, with all different. And from that, in the time, we have more divided, because one area border on the next one and mixed with the third one and the fourth one and the fifth one. And today it's like all, we can still find out all these characteristics from the body to which race the people belong. But anyway, we have become more and more segmentarian and more individualistic. And in the same time, anyway, we come to one point where there appeared during the history the English language, which makes that today everybody can speak. Anyway, you have the possibility with this language also to explain how this phenomena, what is kept inside the speaking language. And it's very beautiful when you go inside and you look through all these words, you can, in the time, really develop one picture of how our ancestors have been living before. And it shows us another kind of life. Quite brilliant. I don't know, that was just quite nice also because it becomes anyway more alive again. We have gone through one period in the history where you couldn't show any part of the body anymore because it was like a general freak out and environment. And anyway, now we come in one time where also all this become more possible. Our parents or grandparents couldn't think. So you see that many norms are also changing again in another direction. Again more visible as human beings. It would indeed be nice when the climate changes.
Yes.
You know which button to press.
How does this weather change? Because of the changing the shift of the pole?
Yes.
Is it known why that shift?
Why it fall over?
Oh, the question. I sometimes take one word from the Bible. I usually don't. They say that because they turn their face away from God. And that means that people was drinking their sperm and offering their sperm in the system. And if you don't drink your sperm, you are not included in what we call öde. And maybe that was the reason why it changed this action. We know it has been changing, and the explanation is maybe not so clear. It must have been happening something. We feel anyway that we must have been trapped in some way if we was the reason that we had to live in this kind of ice in the north. People who become arctical. When still the tropical can go out for fishing in the morning without to have a special trousers on. It became one history also of the planet, which is so strange that we had to suffer through this arctical period. When the tropical could continue in their, of course, changing way of norms and living. But anyway, reminds from one continuity than our arctical creation of the norm. we also like our pine trees, one nice tree. When we moved from Gotland 9,013, 14 years ago, back to Udenmark, it's only bedrock. So now people had to start to live on bedrock there. It had been one Outlandish period where it had been destroyed 10,000 years ago, where the big ice opened in north, and it became one rolling procedure of the ice who took all the square stones and made them round. And all these stones were Estonia, still today called, full of round stones. And that's the end of our Outlandish period, where only remained a few people of us are living at Gotland. 9,000 years ago, 14 years ago, they moved back to Udenmark. There is only bedrock. So now they say that this corn, the first sädesslag, we could put on the bedrock, and some algae or thing from the water get anyway to be bread for us. So in that way we get anyway bread to eat, and also a domestic animal. It must be one copy of, from one side to the other, the Noah story existing these animals, because we can see our arctical animal coming out from Outlandish period, living 1,000 years in Gotland, an island who is made from chalk, has not been roamed away, because it's situated in one place. So when all this roam, this island is still intact, so they go there and go over with their domestic animals to one bedrock place. But now they have the pine tree, and pine tree is growing from the light, and it becomes 150 years old, and when it's die, it gives earth on this planet. So we had like dal, we had like valleys, who we grow this kind of Christmas tree, we call it today, who is living from the light and dying and giving earth where we could get in the future potato field. And we can grow our four seeds every spring, putting in the seed, and in the autumn having bread, or winter in form of bageri, bryggeri, breadery, and slakteri, what you are eating the art. So from these names we can understand that it was existing.
Like to hear just a little bit about the polarities of male and female and the juices of life.
Don't you No, it's in a few minutes, but soon everybody will start to come inside.
Yeah. Oh, the big question.
Yeah.
Shortly, it is very interesting about the juices of life that live the
Yeah, no,
flowers.
what the girls have is called, they call in Finnish called makla, or in root they call it sav, or sap in English. So it's like what the girls produce by themselves. It's different from the girl. So one brain, the woman brain is creating makla, and the masculine brain is creating sperm. And this brain is needing this material like gasoline for the brain to function, because the brain is lying in one water. So when the girls drink the makla and when the men drink the sperm, it goes down in the stomach, it becomes broken down there, goes into the blood, and the heart is pumping the blood through the body and giving blood to all the different cells. Yeah? So the blood is going to every cell of the body, so also to the brain cell. Yeah, now if this brain is lying in one water, and this water has the same consistency of the makla by the girls and of the sperm by the boys, then this brain is like one sponge sucking this energy out of this water, by which it has the petrol to function. So it's very good. It's the more basic liquid for the functioning of the brain, the makla by the girl and the sperm by the man, because the water which in the brain lies in happens to have that consistency. They say.
And the fusion of these two liquids.
It doesn't work. So like if the girl brings the sperm, it's not happen anything in the here upstairs. All information go to the rest of the body, but it doesn't happen something in the brain, all the way around. in the girls before in this paradise, in this old breeding system before they make the honeymoon. The honeymoon is the month before the boy and the girl or the man and the woman make the child. So now in 1 month period, 1 month before they make the child, this girl is drinking every day from this guy from whom she gets the sperm to make the child. So now 1 month time, this whole body already gets everywhere the information from the sperm. So also the egg, what is there, what get information via the blood, become informed of that the sperm is coming, so that when they make the child, that after 1 month, this egg is prepared for to receive the sperm. So you don't get to make all this casino in the hospital with all kinds of laboratorium and blah 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 blah. When you make this preparation like this, because in that way the system that carries the egg is getting formed by the material what it's connected with already. So it's like one preparation in that way. And now we get over to 12-hour model. It's big, no? It's like many connections.
Thank you very much.
They are already on the way in.
All right.
The following is a recording of your book, Speaking with the Women, on the 5th of August 1998 in the Opel in the Humaniversity.
Are we there? Maybe you come so I can see, so I can get bored sometimes. She's the only Finnish we have. Where is more Finnish? There is a big piece of Finnish. Only you are there. So there is 2 Finnish ladies. And you represent the Danish flag. Klar? Okay. Maybe you already has been coming to that it's some sound here who is speaking. Speaking. And it's very simple. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, X, Y, Z, O, R, Ö. And this is so simple. And it's come from this letter who are star and circles. So one A is 2 stars with 1 little in the middle. 1 base, 1 star with 3 small parts, a small part of the circle. So come this right form of A. C is 1 half circle, D is 1 star with 1 half circle. So if you see the whole alphabet, you can make in form of star and circle. Now we have A, and A means Asa. And A means also for us Finnish people, ukko, akka. Ukko is masculine and akka is feminine. So akka is the feminine. Akka is the mother of the king and the queen. That's A. Now we have another A that if you put 2 small points on the A, it comes one other sound called A, and that's also a female sound. Yeah? And we have another A we put 1 moon on, a small ring, and that becomes the sound O. So this O is the opposite to A, because O is masculine and A is feminine. So one A who means ukko, akka, ase, but we have one A with 2 points, who is ä, and one A with one ring, who is O. So now the ä is feminine. So now in this A-aser, D borg, C skära, D dag, E ek, F frö, G grund, H häll, I, J jarlar, K karlar, L lag, M måne, N Nordstjärnan, O Oden, P Polen, Q kvadrat, R ra, R ra, R ra, S solen, T tor, U ursprung, V vaner, X Y Z Å Ä Ö. The last are these O Ä, the A with the moon or the A with the 2 points, or the ring with 2 points called Ö. Except one called Ö, and Ö they have in Denmark. And they make like one string, one star over the ring, so it comes like Örebro, Öresund, Öre, instead of Öga and Öra. Öra and Öga. So then the Ö is this ring with the 2 points, and Ö is the ring who has this Danish Ö. So from this R, ra, Ä was female, and was masculine, is ra. Ra, we most think that is ancient sun, which for us, ra means the moon. And moon is one Shiva once a month. So we have nymåne, new moon, and we have halvmåne, half moon, and we have fullmåne, full moon. Full moon. And when it's full moon, it means one Shiva. So the sun is always one Shiva. The sun always go up like one Shiva, and it go down like one Shiva, with the moon give mark to us people, because it's changed to be new half and full Shiva, full moon Shiva. Ra. Now we go into what we call association of root language. And today we can put together something called tant, ra. And we have tantra here, started yesterday. So now we have also mant, ra. So man, tur, ra, mant, te stor, mant, ra, or tant, ra. In that, if you listen to these things from Scandinavian, we have something called tant. And tant means usually your mother or father's unmarried sister. She insists to say that everybody, children, has to call me tant, because I am your tant. So for us Scandinavian people, tant is 100% feminine. If you call one man tant, he becomes really angry. For Saturday, he can't listen to that. You're starting to call one man tant. That you all know that you don't tell one man. So now in that way we already can see that tant in root has one feminine association, when again man, en man, flera män, en man, mant, ra, is masculine. Man is one man and män is global. Of course man kan göra, man kan ta. So also man has one it could be också penning man kan göra, man kan ta, man kan nog gå, man kan nog styra, man kan nog vara en duktig man. Men man kan också vara en kvinna i en form av man. Men mantra måste i alla fall tillskriva det maskulina man, tetor och ra, mantra och tantra. Vad är ra? What is ra? Now in our mythology in Van language, we have Ukko, Akka, Lemminkäinen, Joutsen, Seppo, Maija, Sampo, Aija. Now Seppo and Maija is representing Ra, and Seppo Maija is Kuningas and Kuningatar. Ku means the moon in Van language. Where is this one? There. So Ku is the moon in Van language. Kuningas. As was the people who live in Udenma, and Kuningas is the king, and Kuningatar is the queen. So the Ra can only be king and queen. So Tant Ra is the queen. Tant Ra is the queen, and Mant Ra is the masculine Ra. So Tant Ra and Mant Ra. Now we have one queen, and she is actually giving mark from the moon. So when woman was looking the moon, they could get mark from the new moon, from the half moon, and from the full moon. Moon full. Now we had one off a ring or one off Ra. In the Tant Ra, you can off Ra, off a ring. An offering you always give further up. You never take when you offer something. You always offer, you are giving. And offer means one giving for the brain of the queen. So before, when we had one queen, we could think about her, and when they think about the queen, they could open their wings and off-ra one pearl to become off-rad further on and ended up with the queen. In the time, if you go after the ice time, we divide always this in before ice time and under ice time and after ice time. We still had our queen and our king. We had them in Finland up to 1050. In realistic, we really had one king and one queen we could stand for, or we could open our wings for. And this offering is without touching. And maybe I tell one Yule story for you to actually declare this thing in one way, that we have something called Yule, and Yule go round and round and round. It means also one wheel, maybe one D-wheel. How could they offer for the queen? How could they be sure that if they open their wings and they give, that it really go to the queen's brain? And that I try to explain for you with next story. We divide ourselves before in Jarl, Karl and Trail. Trail are the Jon people, the lowest caste called Jon, the middle caste called Kar, and the highest countryside caste called Jarl. Jarl are the people who have hus, far, hus, mor, and hus, true. To be hus, true, the true of the house is the hustru. Hus far is the man of the house, and hus mor is the mother of the house. The house people was house people, they was higher than the torp people, and torp people was lower than these hus people. Torp are torpar i, torpar i, tor is torpar is par and i is i, and u become also we say torpari in one language. Torpari means torpar. Under the torpar we have these Jun people, and Jun people was the trail people. If you don't go so far down to Jun, we go to the Torp people, and in Jule time, when we have one island, let's say, where live the houseman, the husfru, husfar, husbonde, hus, to him is coming something called torpar girls. Now, when we had Yule time, we make one Yule board, and the Yule board is one big table who has one white cloth going down to all sides. The Yule board is as high as this grand piano, and you sit on benches where is double shiva, we call board shiva, the top of the table. Under this table we call kapell or kapelli, kapell. We have tempeli or kappeli. And under the table, the Yule table is the kapell. Also when we go out with a boat today, you can put up the kapell in the boat, so actually nobody can see you. So you go out for sailing in the evening, you put on the kapell, so you can make nice and go to sleep. So also kapell exists in front of some kind of cloth. You can make like one hided thing in one boat, but also under the table we call kapell. Now, these hus people, they have cow, they have pig, and they have chicken. They have also horse, they have also sheep, and they have also goats. Now the female was taking care about the cow, the pig, and the chicken, and that's 3 of our domestic animals. And the other 3 of our domestic animals is the horse, the sheep, and the goat. And there again was always the boys who had to go out with the sheep. You always see one boy with his stick and he go out and look for the sheep usually, and also the goats are more taken care by the men, and the horse of course in the stall no woman had to put their feet before. Now again the other side is the female, the cow, the pig and the chicken. So we can see that we was divided also in the domestic animals to take care about 3 for the female and 3 for the masculine. In that time we still have, let's say, Ra, we have the queen Ra and the king Ra, who is represented by the ruler. Now the little Torpar girl, when she want to offer for the queen, she is coming up to the house, and outside of the house is standing one stick, or one stick, maybe you can call it in English, something called Vasa skärven. Skärven. Skär means divide and ven means when, and skärven is one thing from straw. It's many straw who looks like one lady's shirt with the upside, and all these beautiful birds is eating from this seed, from the top of this construction of straw. Now when the lady, the little Torpar girl, she is coming to the house, she is taking one straw from this, and she put the straw in her shoe, so it doesn't break. And she go into the house, and there is this Yule table, this covered thing, and she go in under this table from one side, and the woman she offered to, it come in from the other side. So they're meeting each other. Now the offering is for Ra. is actually not for this woman she really is giving to, because she knows that if she give one pearl to this woman under the table, the pearl will go further on. It will end in the queen's brain. And that's the motivation for her to open her wing, for to give the pearl further on, because she knows where it leads. Anyway, she go in, and we call it so easy that she is stor tar girl. She her tor es, and she get her max. And now when she open her from sip ra drop a rin a flöd a, and flöda means she flood. And now she can give the straw to the lady who can nicely sip, ra, drop, a, rim, a, flöd, a, and get in this female sab, the juice, into her stomach. From the stomach, the power of this juice is going in her blood. The pump is pumping, blood is circulating, and all the genes and cells is living on blood, also the brain cell. Now the obligation for the woman who've been getting under the table, who've been ta, I ta, you ta, mut ta. So she mut ta, the lady who become offered to. Ta en te ra tant ra. Tant ra is the queen. Now this woman who had been drinking or eating, she is next morning going to one QRQ, Q, Yggdrasil skarar, R, Ra, QRQ, Q was the moon, Kyrku, and in Kyrku we have stav, Kyrku, in Norway example, stav was the stav, and circle, and man has also one stav, and the carrot can also be one stav for the lady. Now this woman, she go to one altar altar E, everybody takes E, altar E, and in this altar, this woman who has been drinking under the table the day before from the torpar lady with her straw who had been coming to offer for her, she is going to something called Kyrku Rouva, Kirkko Rouva, Kirkko Rovasti, means one female figure in the church who now also ta en te ra, she is also receiving from this woman who has been drinking under the table from the girl who come from the top. Now she also, the woman, the Kirkoroa, she also get it in her stomach, she get it in her blood, pumping, blood circulating, and the genes and cells is living on blood. Now from Kyrku, we have one place called Kyrö. Now we go to Finland, we have Kyrön linna, Kyrö slott, slå, slag, slott, slå, slag, slott we call it, and slå, slag, slott is the place where the queen has her tower with her jungfru bur called. So we have a bur tower, and in this bur tower the queen is in one golden gyllene bur. Now from this Kirkoroa they have to come to Kyrö, and this woman, she has to go up in the tower and she has to clean her clitoris, get her climax, and offering her sab, her sap, her mahla for the queen's bread. So now the queen has been drinking from this woman who had in the Kyrku been drinking from this woman who under the table had been drinking from this torp lady who had come there for to offer from herself. This we can explain in sound, we can make it large, we can make it in different way, because we can always control it with the sound that it really insists inside this what we motivate, that we can tell that people really has been opening their wing, the lady opening her wing and offering for the next one. So now they know that this go to the queen. Now maybe we see we have no really queen, so this kind of thing can't really be the same feeling that you're offering to one person, because you know that this person has the right to offering to the next one, who has the right to offering to the queen. So they could opening their wing with some completely different feeling than this emotional feeling we have today when we offering or we opening our wing for probably to get one climax for only for the satisfaction of ourselves, instead of having one other motivation of offering further on where we know that it's lead up to the queen. You're all lying so nicely here, and I know you are listening with your half ear and with the full ear, of course, also. It's not really me as a man, but I want with this small story tell that it was really natural with the Tantra, that we had one Tantra, one queen, and the woman could give. Giving, offering means always giving. What that means with this giving is something what we really don't know, but maybe in the future we can know. Let's say that one woman is offering one pearl to one other woman. That means that she has one other woman's pearl. Now if she has, we start with the circle of bekantskapskrets. Be means asking, kant means kant. Skap is creation, bekantskapskrets. And I think the bekantskapskrets means one krets of people, we or the female have, we take it from the female side, when they already feel that they have good feeling, but it's not really, they don't know each other really well, but bekant means that we anyway can think that maybe I can open and get one chance to give one pearl to that person. Because in this story the giving is the most important. It's not to take, it's really to give. Now if one woman finds another woman very sympathetic and she has something who make that she think that if she now offer to her, she become included in the bekant, skaps, krets, one whole krets of women who are included in saying that they are ready for something what the thing can create to maybe one other krets called kamratskapskrets. And kammare means only kamrat, kamrer, kaver, kammare. Det betyder, it means that we already start to speak with each other. We come to the kamratskapskrets, that we already can open and look how my look, and I can put it to stand, and oh look, yours is like that, and mine is like this, and you know, we are kamrat, we can already speak about it. We can speak about it. We can open ourselves